Right, Maui, what is your ugly point going to be?
Yeah, so this is a rare time where I just didn't tell Thorin it.
It's a secret one, so it means it's going to be something straight Firefall. It's probably going to be something about you.
Something about him.
Get ready. It's going to be something about you.
No,
Come on.
Okay, okay. I mean, we have to talk about it. The whole podcast, you guys have been hinting at it.
Okay.
The fact that obviously in 2022, Thorin wrote the tweet about FalleN.
Great one.
Went viral. Went viral.
Overrated CS:GO player of all time, and
I even got flamed by Simple because of that. Like that's the worst thing is Simple came in and fucking flamed me, and he had like 1 million followers as well, mate. So everyone was wrecking me.
I look back at the tweet when writing this point, and I had Tarek flamed.
Oh, there's loads of people in there, mate. Doublelift was in there. Everyone was in there, mate. Everyone was in there. Everyone.
Yeah, every single personality ever in Counter-Strike history basically had to reply to that tweet individually, and so. I wanted to hear because I even went back to watch the YouTube video you made about a year later to see kind of what were your points behind that take that FalleN's overrated, and it was as always it's a long but actually well constructed and logical take that has more to do with the semantics of the word overrated and how people misconstrue that term to mean bad, because I don't think anybody in their right mind can ever say that FalleN CS:GO opping was bad.
Oh, yes. But I never said he was a bad player. I never said he was the worst player. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm bringing it up to just to open a can of worms because obviously I can give my take lightly on it. That I think when I look at players tier lists, which, you get these little content pieces at different events and people say like, who are the greatest of the great players? And like Heavy God put like 7 people in the S tier, and it's like how many people can fit in an S tier? Eventually you should like exercise some discretion. I think Zywo even put FalleN in his S tier and everything like that. And so that I think that is where really the Thorin take comes from. That it's like FalleN, obviously one of the most impactful people to ever play this game. One of meta defining in-game leader. Also, highlights are just unreal. Like,
this is amazing. Frag movie, of course.
Prime FalleN highlights are unlike almost any other opper. Maybe you just only include Simple.
By the way, the term combat opping was actually invented by casters for FalleN.
Yeah, the shotgun opping, the way you just you would play like anchor positions on maps and then just quick scope 3 people as they're charging at you. Those kinds of moments were unreal. But then I think people and so my final take on it is that obviously I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think FalleN's one of the probably I'd say 5 best oppers in CS:GO. But it's just the way that some people speak about you today as an opper was like the greatest when obviously Simple existed. So that's where I have to draw the line, where there was a difference between you two. So I would even say Zywo, Pete Kenny, were higher than you. But actually, to your credit, like the length that you did it for over Kenny was really impressive. I mean, and just winning the trophies at the end of the day, like winning the trophies over. Well, I mean, okay, Thorin's already wincing at that one a little bit there. Like the 2 years of Prime FalleN were so absurd. They were so absurd because it was on the biggest stages regularly. And I think that Kenny got onto a lot of the big stages, but in terms of how many grand finals, semifinals, majors, S-tier events that FalleN did it at, that's where the gravitas is so much more felt. Even when in Kenny's prime, I guess, there were a lot of great moments. Okay, actually, the longevity argument is kind of difficult there to construct, but it's just that there were only a handful of people that were above FalleN, and I get the overrated aspect just because it's like there's like an S plus that a couple people were on, and you were more on the S for me.
It basically wants to know your take first of all. What is your take?
Yeah, what's your take on Thorin's overrated?
Because technically, you might have said something on your stream, but no one in the English language words ever heard it.
Thorin's gonna find a way of thinking where he can say something that means another thing, bro. Of course, he's gonna bait the Brazilians and say he's overrated just to talk about the overrated word instead of talking with me. That's so Thorin, bro. What can you do? You just find a way, bro. Find a way to trigger all the Brazilians. And he fucking loves it. What can you do?
Sure. It's true. That part is true. Can't lie.
No, but I mean, when it comes to the Alpers, like being completely honest, I think there are many Alpers that play better than me. But there's also different point of views too, because for example, when you're talking about football, you talk about Ronaldinho Gaúcho, Ronaldo Phenomenal R9, like it's difficult to say that those guys were better than Messi, for example. But there will be some fans that are gonna say, for me, football was more about Ronaldinho Gaúcho than Messi, bro, because they're gonna love the magic of it, of the thing. So someone is gonna, like you say, some fans are gonna say Prime FalleN was the best Alper that ever existed. Yeah, maybe for that tournament you watched on that tournament that day, but if it took for 2 years, 3 years, you're going to see simple. It's going to be hard to talk about. The guy was always there every single way, including the way I was in that tournament. It's fair. But but some fans are going to have different POVs, and they're going to come from different backgrounds. And of course, Brazilians are going to be more biased around me because they know how much I helped the scene to grow and how much more there is than the game itself in my persona, in my career. So I mean, it's fair. It should be easy to separate the mojo as well for you guys, but you don't want to separate it because you don't want to do it. So in the end, it's all banter, But for example, I consider Easiest, Zayu, Simple, KNS, all those guys, for me, they played better than me with the Alp. Easy to say. Maybe Guardian, same level, even though he didn't win the major. I think we're pretty much same level. But I don't think I'm far off from the top 6, top 8, top 10. I think you can include some other Alpers there if you go even beyond, like maybe 15. It's okay. I don't strive to be the best.
You're better than 15. You're better than 15. You're better than the 15th best.
But I have been playing for so long though that you can include the 1.6 Alpers as well. Like you can go even beyond.
Okay. If you include
you can have you can have Kogu, you can have Markelov, you can have many other guys who are just insane. Shagwar at some point. So my challenge to Thorin is find someone who's been here since 2003 and is still here, right?
Okay.
That's where I'm the first, I guess.
Right, before I answer, because as Maui said, I did do a whole video on this, and as usual, my YouTube channel is always different than my Twitter, isn't it? The Twitter is framed especially to be the spiciest as possible, but I never lie. I will say that, like I said earlier, I'll never say what I don't think or just say something false, but the way I framed it, I agree. I'll get into that in a second. Literally, the wording is actually the part that throws everyone off. But one thing I do want to ask you about is this. As I just said to Maui, very recently they did at some tournaments ask top players now, like Monacy and stuff, to make tier lists, right? And when they asked them, FalleN, somehow all these young kids keep putting you either in like the tier with Zimu and them or one below, and they all have coldzera a rank below, right? I want to ask you about that.
Exactly.
Right, one, that means the fans are putting you with the like absolute. They're pretty sure they're making you like the 5th best player ever, bro, and they're having you above coldzera. Do you agree with that? If you do, it's fine. Do you agree?
I think the only way you can make the comparison is longevity. If you take in consideration longevity, then it's gonna play a big role in those discussions. But I think peak-wise and in terms of how much they really play the game, I don't think I'm top 5. I think there are many better.
Is coldzera better than peak FalleN?
Definitely.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But not by much margins because we play together, right?
No.
Not by much margins. No. But better, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think I will be winning all those things without coldzera.
Sure.
That's for sure.
I mean, I will also say he didn't win much without you too. That's true as well. By the way, one thing about this though, I think that in itself makes my point for me. Bro, people underrate coldzera at this point in time and then maybe slightly overrate FalleN. By the way,
I think it's the recent bias, right?
Of course. Well. And you're a very popular player. You're always on camera. Of course. Yeah. And also, here's the other thing. Without doing all the points from the video, I will just say this. About the tweet, there's 2 parts. One is everyone missed the wording. Because here's the real problem, right? Because communication isn't really supposedly about the specific words. It's more like you're supposed to communicate an idea or a feeling, and the other person reads the words and gets the idea or the feeling in their brain or in their heart, right? Unfortunately, people just took that as I'm saying he's shit. Because I agree with you, Maui. People think overrated means bad.
Yeah.
Whereas here's the problem. There's 2 parts to this. One, I actually made this point at the beginning of the video, right? People will think overrated should mean bad, right? So they think overrated means the worst possible player who's ranked the highest that they shouldn't be, right? But I always say to people, then there'd be no one to discuss because who cares about random players that are bad? Like no one watches the player that comes 16th or doesn't even make the land. Most people want to talk about who's overrated among the best players. So for example, it's a way more interesting discussion to say, is Monacy overrated right now than is NQ? Like, NQZ is just a good player, mate. No one's having that battle. No one's even thinking about that much.
Right.
People are thinking every day that Falcons players is Monacy overrated. That's like a big topic. And they don't mean, is he total trash? They mean, can Monacy still be in the number 1 player of the year competition? Is he the best player on Falcons? Is he playing well enough? These are what they mean.
Because he has the potential, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He should be doing more. So
absolutely.
In the end, you are my fan, Thorin. When you said FalleN is overrated, like, this guy should be delivering more.
Here's the thing. I wanted FalleN to be player. Yeah, I wanted it to be like 2017. Exactly. We're on the same page in that that sense. And if you ever go and look, I will say this, the one area I wrecked myself is I do tend to do things. I'm influenced like everyone by the surroundings. If you ever go and look at the date of that tweet is after Imperial got out of the first stage at the Antwerp Major by beating Forza. Like, Forza are nobody's, mate. They didn't ever do anything at a major ever.
On overpass, right?
You wrecked them, and you had a carry performance. You were carrying. So look, to me, that was a whack team that was dog shit. And then because you had a carry, you were like plus 23 in the series. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, FalleN's back!" And it's like, one, I hate so-and-so is back conversations, because to me, bro, you were ranked number 2 by HLTV.org in the year for 2016. So FalleN being back to me is like, he's a star player. That's, you just beat Forza, mate, and then the next one just went out of the tournament. Like, it's, you know, it's like that. I think that's the overrated part. And then secondly, I did say overrated player, Maui. Everyone misses that word. I didn't say ARPA. I didn't say IGL. So my problem is I think people always give you too much credit for ARPing and IGLing, as in for being a player. If you're going to talk about a player, you have to take IGL out of it, because no one knows what pieces did he have, what did he call. Like you said about the foot calls, we don't even know who made what call if we're not in the team. Like, we're just guessing. So to me, purely just as a player, just if I looked at your POV and I didn't look at anything else, I think in 2022, you're not that good a player anymore. Come on. You used to be one of like the top 5 players in the world. So, and also when I looked back, like I said before about how people have different roles as an ARPer, I don't think you were ever actually better than Kedius or Guardian or Simple. Like, these guys were they were up here. True, Maui's right. You might not be in as many finals or semis. You were definitely a better stage player. I'll give you that. In fact, there's an analogy right now. I think right now, Wonderful's a better player than Sun Pius. But I tell you what, Sun Pius is amazing in playoff games. You put him in a big pressure match, he might carry and Wonderful might shit the bed. So there's that angle. And then also, I agree with you, FalleN. It's also a problem with what people like as players, by the way. You have a very flashy playing style at your peak. I'll give you a Brazilian football analogy, because I bet this would work. Think about who the modern kids have seen. If I said to you, FalleN, I think Romario is a way better player than Neymar, every kid who saw Neymar is going to go, "What are you talking about? Look at this highlight clip. Look at Neymar, his tricks." Listen, Neymar's a fucking amazing player. He probably could have been the GOAT, but I think Romario was a killer, bro. That guy was unbelievable. Like, you put him on any team, he would score fucking 30 goals a season. He's legit underrated. He's in this analogy, he's called zero to your Neymar in that scenario. You know, like, I just think he's a better player. But I get why someone's a fan of Neymar or Ronaldinho. They have the best tricks. They had all the best fucking highlight package. Like Maui said, by the way, there's an underrated thing. If we're talking only highlight package, put it this way, Shiro's highlight package would be all right, wouldn't it? Your highlight package would be unbelievable. It's all no scopes and combat hopping and winning 1v3s all over the place. Shiro's just hitting the same fucking 4 shots every single map. It's a different style. So yeah, I'll just say generally that. I think I've made my case. Whatever. It's all good. We don't all have to agree. And also, spoiler, here's the one area you fans don't get it. FalleN doesn't actually give a fuck, mate. One thing I've actually always appreciated about FalleN and your team in general is it doesn't matter if everyone tells you you're going to lose and the other team should win and FaZe should win or Astral should win. If you get the trophy, who gives a fuck? It's just fun at that point, isn't it? And in fact, I think one of your team once told me this. I always thought it was a cool line. They once said, "Oh, it does feel better to win the trophy and for you to be wrong and to predict against us." It's like, well, fair enough. Okay, I get it. It's nice to be right. You know, it's all good to be right.
You know, I'm very easygoing, you know, like I take things to the heart. And in the end, I know that you have been in the scene for very, very long, creating a lot of content. You know, one of the few persons that are here even before me, I would say. So I respect that a lot. And I know I have many, many different personal occasions where I meet you and we talk about things. You know, we're always very respectful. And when I see your tweets, are like, "Fucking Duncan, bro." It doesn't stop, bro. Yeah. It doesn't look like the same person to me. You know? Like, it's just like you said, it's like what you want to get from those posts is what you want to get from those posts, you know. So I can separate. Yeah. And you know, in the end, there's one topic that over the years I have been trying to grow as a person. And it is a sense where how much do I care about others says about me, you know, because I think that on the beginning of my career, there was a big fuel for me to do things, you know, honestly. I have reflected about it for many, 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 many times already. And I think at the very beginning, it did matter to me, like what would people be saying and how I would be looking. And you know, in a sense, it still matters a little bit, but I feel like it's one of my goals to make it minimize the most I can. Because in the end, if we're doing things for others and not for ourselves, at some point it's going to hit back at us. Sure. You know, so when it comes to all those FalleN Torin conversations, it hits exactly on this point. You know, like there is a person who is talking about gaming on my scene. Sometimes does talks good things about me. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes trigger people that likes me because he likes it. I can only respect that and move along. And I never have a chance to do something together. I'm gonna hope it's as good as it can be, and that's it. So yeah, that's it for me. I have no problems with all those things being said. I understand that sometimes fans can be frustrating, and I can understand if you micro the view from. This motherfucker has been watching Simple for 10 years and is telling me that FalleN is fucking better than Simple. Of course, it's going to trigger you as well, because I can say the same. Simple is fucking insane. But, it's all about how you're going to take things. And I do appreciate that some fans can be over immaculate like that and think things like that, because in the end, they really enjoy watching me play. And I can only be thanks for that.
Yeah. Put it this way, the word in English, FalleN, I just did the translation to Portuguese. The word in English is rascal. In Portuguese, it's apparently patife. It's someone who's just likes to shit stir a little bit, set a little fire and then sit back and go, that's just part of who I am, bro. It's just who I am.
We need the patife taking care of the Brazilian team in the World Cup.
Exactly.
Let's do it. We need it. Exactly. It's time.
Yeah, here's the thing. We all need to unite our forces and fuck with the other team. Exactly. We'll fuck with Argentina and the Europeans. Exactly. That's what we need. That's where we join forces and have the peace alliance.
Here we go, bro.
Yeah, ceasefire.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.